Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Baldini. I am talking to you today about the video you just watched. So this is really meant for those students who are on remote at home to give you some kind of feel on what we're doing and what communism is, what socialism is, what I call together collectivism. So you should have watched the video. If you haven't watched the video, this is the point where you should pause it and pause me and go watch the video that this is in connection with. It's important that you do that because otherwise you're not going to understand what I'm talking about, folks. All right, here's the pause. All right, let's move forward. The rocket is fueled, ladies and gentlemen. The engines are ready. We are green for startup and takeoff. So let's get started. Somewhere's in the video, about 2.5 minutes, maybe it's a minute and a half, I'm not sure exactly off the top of my head. The video starts talking about communism and collectivism being not liked because of jealousy, because people are going to see that, if you don't work hard, you still get something. If you do work hard, somebody's going to take it. That's just not enough of an explanation for me. I think that the better explanation goes a little bit deeper than just thinking that people are going to take something. It's the process of taking something that's not theirs is really the difficulty here. And it should be something you should think about because it opens it up to everybody. And even in a socialist system that's not fully, that you may hear them talk about in other videos where they're talking about social democracies, even in that system, it still requires money or product to be handed over to another group by force. Because most people don't give up their stuff willingly. They don't want to give up their houses. They don't want to give up their money. They don't want to give up their cars. They don't want to give up their lifestyle for anybody. They've worked hard to get where they are, and they're not interested in giving it up. And in order to give it up, it's going to be a fight for a lot of people. But government taking from somebody is the collectivist model. Whether you're talking about social democracy or whether you're talking about communism. A socialist democracy still requires government to take. Communism requires government to take. Any type of system where the government does, and you can see it on the screen now, the command economy requires that the central government decide what goods will be made and who will receive them. But it also looks at what do you have that you can give to the central government for the rest of the population. This is in contrast to the market economy, which is also on the system, also on the screen. The economic system in which the individual is the one that has the power. In the command economy, the government has the power. And in the market economy, the individual is supposed to have the power. Not the seller, but the individual who is buying. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go forward, because one of the things we are going to talk about is one of the outcomes of this type of system, of a collectivist system. We have now in China, what you see in front of you is an event that happened in 1989, the Tiananmen Square massacre. That happened in a country that is communist and wasn't allowing freedom. And in this kind of system, the government is in charge of everything, not the people. And here we are, the people trying to show demanding individual liberty, and tens of thousands of hundreds to thousands of protesters were killed and 10,000 were arrested in this incident, with the government attacking at 1 a.m. And shooting live bullets into the crowd. This is what collectivism leads to, because when people start standing up for themselves, they inevitably run into conflict with the government. And the outcome of that conflict is the government is going to push back hard. And that's what happened in this case. Not in every case are you going to see government have this kind of impact, but the outcome is the same. The government is going to push back against those who are protesting for individual freedoms. So I want you to keep that in your mind as we go forward with future videos. What is the best type of system? And I've said it before, I'll say it again. People can say the economic systems and the political systems are not connected, but they have to be. You can see that the economic system of China led to the political system of the government pushing back against people's freedoms. The people's freedoms, they won it. They didn't want those freedoms because they already had them. They want those freedoms because they were denied to them. Some of those freedoms were freedom of speech, freedom to be able to protest, for one, and freedom, a whole list of other freedoms, which we'll save for a later discussion. But when we look at government, what is the role of government? And should government have the power to stop people from protesting? Where do they go over the line? In all reports from the Tiananmen Square situation, the protests were peaceful. Even when the initial military showed up, there was still peaceful. There was no fighting. There was no issues. The worst of it came when there was aggression from the government, not from the people. And there's lots of things that, there's lots of proof out there from various sources that if you want to look up, you can and find on your own. But for now, that's it for today. You take care of yourselves. I'll be expecting to hear back from you. This is something that you should be taking notes from your ever-growing notes that I have out there. So take care of yourselves, and we will talk soon.